All right, hello. Welcome to Football and High Heels Present. My name is Sammy. I'm back again with Colleen and Katrina, and we're going to be discussing the Olympics since we are 6 days away. I can't believe it. I feel like this day would never get here. We're so close. What do you ladies think?
Part of me is like, wait a minute, what just happened?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like beyond excited. We've gotten little snippets of training videos and like the more like not even just like United States stuff, like training videos from everyone. And the more that I see, the more excited I get. And I mean, there's been a couple little injuries and there's some things to report. But so there's some sad stuff, but most of it is just like I can't wait, especially since gymnastics starts so close to opening ceremonies that it's like opening ceremonies, boom, we're in. So I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. It seems like it just came up so fast. It seems like we were just looking at the trials and now boom, here we are ready for the Olympics. And tell me about these injuries because seems like it happened very, very recently and we were only on air a couple of days ago. So tell us about that.
Yeah, there's no American injuries. The South Korean gymnast who was I forget her name, but she was injured vaulting training. Today's Sunday. I think it was either Thursday or Friday. So she's been sent back to Korea, and the alternate is taking her spot because they only qualified one gymnast in. And the report out of that was that, she was injured vaulting, and it's really sad, but no one is really surprised. She was doing skills that were kind of beyond her capacity, and an injury was sort of bound to happen. But it's still sad because it's the Olympics, and it happened like while she was in Rio training. So she's going back and having surgery. I think it was an elbow injury on vault.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then one of the Russians is injured, and she's one of their top all-rounders. I can't pronounce her last name. Melnikova, I don't know.
It's Melnikova.
Yeah, Melnikova. She's been nursing an injury for a while, but it's a hamstring injury, and I mean it comes out of her coach. Like has told the news that she'll be competing, but her routines will be watered down. But the Russian coaches are kind of notorious for like just saying random stuff and it not being true. So we're not quite sure. Like, is she legitimately injured, or is it just like the coaches giving them an excuse to like slack off in practices? I don't know. No one knows. It's Russia, so they're either gonna come in and be held together by tape, or they're gonna like come in and be like, boom, what up? I'm here and we're gonna win. They're not gonna win, but they're gonna try.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I hope that everyone recovers and it's nothing too serious.
With Russia, it's who really knows until the day of competition.
Exactly.
It's like third hour, who knows? Because there's just been reports from Russia that random people are retired and then they're not retired and they just show up to Russian nationals because they can. So
yeah.
You never know.
I don't think she was ever really retired. There's Nabs retired, and then there's like I can't remember the other one. Nabs has never really been retired. Like she was on the short list to be like at least an alternate on the team, and she hasn't like legitimately trained in 4 years.
Like, ooh, that's not good.
But she showed up to Russian nationals and throws a Arabian off
She beat Aliyah Mustafina at nationals on day 1.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. I just laugh Russia.
She's my favorite Americans. I just like her attitude. Like she doesn't care. She's just like, whatever. I'm doing this because I like gymnastics. You're not gonna like tell me what I can and can't do.
Yeah.
She's the best.
Yeah, that's the kind of attitude to have. She is. She's wonderful. So let's get into a little bit about what we can expect, because we have the all-around, we have the bars, we have the vault, and we have floor, right? And beam. So
And
now what? Yep. And now what I understand is not everybody competes in everything, except of course, and for the Americans, for Simone. And is there a reason for that? I mean, Katrina, you and I discussed event specialists a couple of weeks ago, so let's get a little more in depth about that.
Sure. So if you have a full team, it's a little easier to
I'm frozen again.
In finals, team finals, to not have everybody compete, just because you can rest certain people, and that's what I suspect will happen in, I'm guessing, team finals, because they'll probably want to rest Simone a little bit, just to give her a little bit of a break. But it's complicated because it kind of depends on what's going on in training. The videos coming out from at least the Americans, everybody has looked great on bars. I think that's all we've seen, right, Colleen?
Yeah, I think so. Did we all freeze
I can't
again?
really hear you. I'm gonna.
I can hear
What you're
Sammi.
saying.
Try this way. Can you try talking now?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear Sammi fine. Katrina is a little distorted.
Okay, let me put my
See, this is
earphones.
what happens when you're live. So, but at least we're all trying to get this broadcast done.
Okay, I can't hear anybody. So, come on.
All right, stand by as we have some technical difficulties.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I can't
Okay.
hear anybody now.
All right, everybody, this is Football in High Heels as
What
we
if
try
I-
to figure out what's going on.
I don't know if it's
Okay, let me
my.
talk.
What are my notes? Maybe it's when we all try to talk at the same time.
Yeah, I can't hear anybody.
I'm gonna see if it's me, if I move somewhere else. My husband's gonna be so pleased with this.
And here we go on a wonderful trip around Colleen's house. She's giving us a grand tour as we
We're going for
discuss
a
the
tour of my house
Olympics.
now.
Ah!
Because I can. I mean, this is in a more central location to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I have to sound, guys.
Huh?
Can you hear me now, Katrina?
Katrina.
Hey!
Wait, okay, now I have sound.
Yay!
sound.
We're getting somewhere.
I hate my
Do we all have sound?
I can hear everybody.
Okay, I can hear everybody.
Yay!
Now I
All right.
have Disney. It just keeps freezing.
This is what happens on live TV. Now I know how Tom Bergeron feels.
But you said you can edit these, though, right, Sammi?
Yeah, I think there's a way. So, but if anything, at least people know we have a sense of humor. Football and high heels, everybody. We have a sense of humor.
Oh.
Okay, everyone present and accounted for, and can we all hear what's going on?
Yes.
Oh, yay! We got
Pretty
somewhere.
much. I forgot my notes.
Yay!
That's okay.
All right. So where were we? We were talking about the Olympic athletes,
And
and we were talking about bars.
bars and team finals and preliminaries. And I don't know what Katrina had said. I really don't think they're going to use Lori on bars and preliminaries. I don't know that they'll use Lori on bars at all. because I think they're going to let Allie and Gabby duke it out for the second all-around spot.
They might in finals, though, just to give Simone a rest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too.
Rest. I think they would maybe take Simone. I don't know. I just don't know.
No, put
because
Simone in finals.
Lori's bars are
in
a little bit and a little labored that I don't know that they would just put her up in a team final really having been. When they did it last year at Worlds with Maggie's routine was pretty cut and dry. It wasn't like an easy routine, but there weren't any super difficult connections. Like, if Lori hits all of her connections, she could score like a 15-2, a 15-3. But if she doesn't, she's going to be down in like 14-6, 14-7. And even though they're probably going to win by, 4 or 5 points, they have that much. They don't even have that much better like start value. It's just their execution scores are so much better. But I don't know that Marta's going to want to risk that.
True. But
yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well.
I don't know.
You think Lori's bars, though? I mean, frankly, I'd rather see Lori's bars in a final than Allie's. Allie's bars should never be seen, ever.
Oh, yeah.
You really don't like her bars, do you?
I would not be surprised if they just do Simone, if Simone does all around, like, qualifiers, preliminaries, team final, and then all-around finals. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, they train for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I worry that because, like, the second day of nationals after Beam, she said her legs were dead. So I just kind of worry a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I just don't know. I just don't know. I feel like that's the biggest question mark of everything. That and, like, what teams. I was looking at, like, scores and everything. And, like, teams that are actually going to qualify to team finals. Like, I think it's pretty cut and dry. Probably the top 6 or 7, top 8 teams make it to team finals. And I think the top 7 are pretty much a given. It'll be United States, China, Russia, Great Britain, Germany. I think Brazil's going to sneak in there. I can't remember the last one for the 7th. But when you look at, like, team scores, like taking top 3 scores of who's on each team from their last few competitions, the score differential between, like, the people in 7th through 10th place is like 3/10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
So it's, I mean, and it's all teams that are like, they've never really been to team final situations, or it's very new for them to have, like, teams that are able to qualify this well. So it's gonna be really interesting to see. Like, I don't know that we as Americans are actually going to get to see that, though, because NBC coverage sucks big monkey balls, but
okay. If you watch it live, you get everything, but yeah.
Sorry.
Sammi,
I agree.
Sammi, thanks. Maybe we all write up something you can post to how you watch it live, because there's a couple different ways you can watch it live.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
NBC just does suck.
Yeah, don't watch NBC, like, primetime television. Just watch the live streams, because they're the best.
Yeah.
I do like the live stream idea.
Get the BBC streams, because they show even more.
Yeah.
That I like.
But I think you need, like, special IP addresses and everything, and you need to, like, break down some firewalls. And I don't know how legal that is, but whatever.
Probably not. Can you imagine? It's like you're in jail. It's like, what are you in for? Murder, robbery. I'm trying to watch the Olympics. Yeah, it's not worth going to. Well, maybe it is kind of worth going to jail for.
I like to watch gymnastics.
I know.
There are a couple ways. I'll give you guys some legal ways to do it. If callers want to know the best way to do it, you can buy what's called a VPN, and it's a virtual private network, and it allows you to change your IP address to anywhere in the world, and you have to pay for it. Usually it's like $2 a month. It's super worth it if you want to watch gymnastics. The best one that a lot of gymnastics people use is called Tunnel Bear. And so that's kind of the main one that people use. But there are other ways, and I will post those.
Yeah, we can do a write-up on that.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
I'm on VPN, so I do it other ways. So, now just to remind people, Rio is, if you're on the East Coast, they're the same. They are 1 hour ahead. If you're in Central, they're 2 hours ahead. Go from there. So that's time frame. I was kind of sad because I thought they were on the same time zone as Central because that's where I'm at. And I was like, yes, I don't have to, wait. Like, oh, no.
I thought they were. I didn't realize that their time zone was different. I thought they were standard time.
That's what I thought
too.
too.
I'm standard. I'm Eastern Standard.
Yeah, so am I.
They're 1 hour further east. Yeah, I had to look at that yesterday. I was like, wait a minute.
I still have the streams and everything, so.
Well, and I'm streaming the opening ceremonies because I don't want to put up with NBC's BS of not showing like half of the opening ceremonies. So I'm streaming them live from other places that actually show the entire thing.
Oh, nice.
Really pissed off for London when NBC didn't show like half the opening ceremonies. It was really annoying. So I just watched the British version, which was so much better.
That's the way to do it. I don't like that. I understand they have to cut somewhere and they can't show everything, but as Olympic fans, we want to see everything. So I'm glad there's other ways, legal ways to watch it.
Legal is the operative word there.
Exactly. I don't want anyone thinking football on high heels is condoning anything illegal to watch the Olympics. We're all legal all the time. Anyway, back to the Olympics. Let's talk about the qualifications. Katrina, you had mentioned when we were just talking before about who you think is going to make it, so tell us your opinions. Well, first of all, before we get to that, let's get to the teams that are competing. Like we said, it's Germany, Netherlands, Russia, and U.S. That's correct, right?
Japan, China,
and then
Belgium, France. There should be 12.
Yeah, I have my list here. And then China, Great Britain, Japan, Canada, Italy, Belgium, Brazil, and France.
I think my issue is.
So I think U.S., Russia, China, maybe Japan. I'm hoping Canada. The Netherlands. I'm really hoping the Netherlands just because they played top 8 in the world last year and they're beautiful. And I'm thinking Germany and possibly Brazil could sneak in there, just because they might get a little oomph and little support from the crowds.
Yes.
I was having Wi-Fi issues again. I took another little walk. I heard you mention you think Germany will sneak in. I think everyone is going to be surprised by Germany. There's been some information circulating around the gymternet, and they took scores from the top 3 scores, again, from each team, like actual competing team. They took their top 3 scores and sort of like what's the final going to look like. And Germany was in 4th place. It went USA, China, Russia, then Germany. And then I think it went Canada and then Great Britain. Like Great Britain, who was 3rd last year at Worlds, which was like first time ever. They beat Russia. This year, their scores just haven't been as high. I think they've been dealing with some injuries. But Germany has made some strides, and I think I think they're gonna. I don't think they'll really contend for a medal. I think the biggest medal threats will still be probably USA, China, and then Russia, Great Britain. I think the silver and bronze medals are going to be hotly contested between those three: China, Russia, and Great Britain. But I think Germany's going to surprise a lot of people and pop up in there and maybe make things interesting for bronze. I think they were about a point and a half out, judging on these scores. But it was based on actual scores from like the competitors.
Do you think they'll be 2016's version of 2012's Canada?
Maybe, yeah.
It very well might happen that way. But yeah, that's one to watch out for. So I'm curious to see what happens because, like everything else, you never know. Expect the unexpected at the Olympics. We may think something's going to happen, but then
we could.
The one thing is
Although Canada could sneak in there too.
I want Brittany Rodgers.
They have an all-rounder. I don't know if it's her second or her third Olympics. But she has been on fire. That girl looks better than she did in London, at least.
Who, Brittany Rodgers?
I mean, she's been training some really difficult skills. And if she hits everything, I mean, Canada could surprise people too. Again, I don't think they'll make the medal podium, but they could be up there, up four or five.
It's very possible. It's just you just can't, like I said, you can't tell because there's so many interesting people, so many good people that are competing this time around that it can go either which way. But I have a feeling that the U.S. is definitely going to be on top.
Yeah, the one thing I'm interested in
Frozen again.
How China fares, just because they can be really inconsistent, and so it'll be interesting to see what their team looks like in podium training. If we get any videos from podium training, they're kind of the ones I may have questions about, just to see how they fare.
Yeah. Now, what is podium training? Can you explain that concept a little bit to me, please?
So, podium training is usually the day before competition, and the competition floor is actually raised up onto a podium, and there's space underneath, and basically the gymnasts go onto the podium to get used to it because the equipment feels differently when you're on a podium versus when it's in the ground, anchored. It's anchored to the podium, but it feels differently. The beam's a little bit more springy, the floor is more springy. You'll see usually with when they first get onto the podium, their floor passes, they bound out a lot just because it feels differently, and all the equipment feels just a little differently than when it's on just a flat surface on solid floor. So they have a day to get used to the podium and try to see how work out kinks and how it feels and how because a lot of gymnasts will use spots in the audience to spot, and therefore they have to get used to those spots in a different area in the arena. So that's what podium training is. It's just to work out kinks and get a feel for the equipment because they're in a training hall right now, and so they'll go to the podium training and they'll do podium training and just to get used to the equipment, working in a big room, and it's kind of get used to equipment. So.
Gotcha. Now that makes sense. I was wondering how they do that. Basically, I knew they were always in a training room, but I wondered how they competed when it came to the actual equipment that they're going to be using in the Olympics. But no, that makes sense, and I appreciate you explaining that to me. And we just discussed the qualifications a little while ago, and who do we think in each category is going to make it to the complete finals? Like I said, we have several different things people can qualify for. Now, do you think Simone's going to qualify for make it to the finals for everything, or do you think she's only going to make it for a couple of things, or just all around?
The only final she probably won't make is bars final, and that's just because bars is her lowest scoring event. it's still good, compared to some other, other gymnasts, but it's not in the 15s that, say, Madison Koshin gets, or potentially 16s. I don't think we'll see any 16s, maybe.
On bars or in
Yeah.
general? Oh, yeah. It depends on what Fan. I want to say Fan Li, Fan Yi, one of the Chinese girls has a potential 7.1 start value on bars.
Wow, that's impressive.
Could make things interesting, and I don't think Madison will break 16. She has like a 16.7. She did score a 15.9 at Olympic trials, and it was a pretty legit 15.9. Like, I mean, it was one of the more like in the right zone scores. It may have been a little bit high, maybe more like a 15.7. But Madison Koshin is going to be up there, and if Simone has a good day on bars and Gabby doesn't hit all of her connections on bars, Simone could sneak in there. In 2013, she did make the bar finals at Worlds, and she came in 4th place, like in the finals, which is nuts. It was just like, oops, I made all the finals.
I forgot about that.
So
That's right. Yeah, I did forgot about that as well. So you're right. She very well might sneak in.
I mean, it's kind of a remote possibility. I really think Gabby is going to be on her game, and Gabby was technically second best in the world on bars last year. Like, there was a 4-way tie for first place, so no one got like a silver or bronze medal, but Gabby was like a 10th behind everyone else on bars last year at Worlds. So if she does what she's capable of, if she makes all of her connections and hits all of her handstands and sticks her dismount, I really think she could medal on bars. Yeah. I would not put it past her. Like, I never ever rule Gabby out. Like, it's just stupid too. Like, when people talk about she shouldn't have made the team, it's like, come on, people. She's been here for the past 6 years, and look at what she's done. It's Gabby.
Yeah, and Gabby just hits better. I think she hits better in pressure-packed situations. So when it's big time, let's go, she's on. And I think trials a big enough pressure for her to hit that.
Yeah, and I think she really wants to sort of prove the haters that, like, guys, I'm here. This is, like, legit. I made the Olympic team. I did not make it because of my name. I made it because I am the number 2 gymnast in the world and the reigning Olympic champion, and that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
that's exactly. I think so too. Me too, and I think, like we said, she works best under pressure. Like I said, the first night, I admit, I wasn't really sure if she was going to make it or not. Then seeing her the second night, she definitely upped her game, and I'm like, yep, that's our Gabby. She's going to make it. There's no way she's not going to make it. So I'm really excited to see what she does at the Olympics.
Yeah. But yeah,
it's crazy though.
Back to like Simone and event finals. Simone will definitely qualify for vault. She will probably win vault in event finals. And she should qualify for beam. I was taking a look at like the scores for the US girls on beam, and she is ranked number 1 even with her fall on day 2 at trials. And I think Lori will take the second spot on beam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so too.
Although, and just like I'll never count Gabby out, I won't count Allie out on beam. If Allie, like, hits a routine like she did day 2 at nationals, it's going to be on. Like, because international judges, even though Allie is a little bit messy, her form is just not quite as exquisite as Lori's. International judges still love her. Like, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's Simone and Allie in beam finals, but I kind of think it's going to be Simone and Lori. And I think Simone will probably take the beam title as well. I mean, she's just so good.
Yeah.
I really think, and obviously no one comes close to her on floor. Barring major disaster like she falls or something, she will win floor too. I mean, she won
Oh,
floor
absolutely.
like landing
Absolutely.
out of bounds at nationals and trials. So she will definitely qualify for 3 event finals plus all around. And who knows, if she has a good day on bars, she could qualify for bars. I don't think
Yeah,
she
I
will.
don't see her not qualifying for almost everything because she is absolutely amazing. And like I said, I didn't watch the Worlds, but I followed her for a while now, and she is absolutely amazing. It's like she just showed up out of nowhere and just completely took the gymnastics world by storm. So I'm really excited to see her in the Olympics, and I think she's going to place, and she's going to join Gabby up there as America's sweetheart. I think they're going to be sharing that title for days to come because I can't choose. They're both so amazing. I love them both.
Yeah. And you know, the thing about event finals and all-round finals is it's only 2 per country. So Simone will probably be like a top 8 bar scorer in the world, but because Madison Koshin and probably Gabby will outscore her, she won't make the bar finals. So she could be, you know, in 6th or 7th place on bars and not make a final.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Yeah.
that's the same thing. Like, that's why I was saying I think, you know, Lori will probably make it over Allie. But I think the top 3 beam scores after qualifications will be Simone, Lori, and Allie. Like, they'll probably be 1, 2, 3. And whoever is number 3 won't get to compete. So, in finals.
Yeah.
Right.
So, that, I
It's
mean, we could say the same thing for floor too. It'll probably be Simone and Allie competing on floor, and Lori will be bumped out. But it's just the USA team is so deep and is so good that they could all qualify for like all the finals and even including all around. USA currently has like the top 6 highest all around scores in the world, and only 2 of them will get to compete for the Olympic gold all-around medal. I
no
think it's
matter
a
what
super
happens,
cool.
it's going to be a big surprise. Yeah, I think so too. And like I said, for a while, I didn't understand. I thought because they made the team, they were all competing, and it was all going to be that. I didn't realize there was a qualifications, and just because they made it didn't necessarily mean they would be competing in the finals. So, can you explain a little bit about that? Because I admit, I'm new to this, and football and high heels is learning about sports. So, I would love to hear the difference between qualifications and finals, and how you get from one to the other.
So you have your teams, and there's 12 teams. Um, 8 of those teams came from the top 8 at last year's Worlds in Glasgow, Scotland, and then the other 4 came from the test event in Rio back in April, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And yeah, my dates are just and so those top 12 teams compete in different rotations, and the first rotation has 2 teams and 2 mixed groups, which are individuals competing as individuals. And those teams compete with a 4-up athletes, 3 scores count. Then once everybody's finished competing, the top 8 teams, right, Colleen?
Top 8, yeah, because it's 2
Top
per
8
event. And
go to finals. And those finals then are 3 up, 3 counts. So that means 3 gymnasts compete, all 3 scores count towards your team total.
yeah.
that's how you get team finals. So then, to get all-around scores, what you competes for all-around is you take the scores of each individual gymnast from qualifications or day one, and you take the top 36?
24. It's 24 now. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
Politics. You take the top 24, and those are your gymnasts who compete in all-around. There's a day in between team finals and all-around.
Well, with a little asterisk, because for USA and probably China and Russia and Great Britain, there's going to be at least 3 girls who compete all-around. But only 2 of those girls from each team will get to compete in all-around finals. Because of the stupid rules of the Olympics and world. It's the FIG. It's their rules and they're stupid. I'm talking to you, Bruno Grandi. I hate you.
Tell us how you really feel, Colleen.
It makes me so mad. But yeah, so even though the top 3 all-around scorers are going to be United States gymnasts, most likely, I mean, no, they will be.
Definitely.
There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, I was looking at scores, and Simone, Gabby, Allie, and Lori have all scored like a point higher than the next competitor, like the next highest competitor going to the Olympics. So it doesn't matter that they're going to be top 3 going into, team finals and all-around finals. Only the top 2 will get to compete in all-around finals because they have to make room for people from tiny countries who don't have a chance at a medal podium, or people from the United States who weren't even good enough to make the national team, so they go to their coach's country of Belarus and score 52 all-rounds and get to go to the Olympics. But Gabby, Simone, and Allie can't compete in all-round finals together because, God forbid, there be a sweep.
Of course not. Now, what is all-arounds? How did I compete in all-arounds? What does that consist of? Did I do a little bit of everything, or is it just a one routine that they just come up with?
They do their normal routine for all 4 events. So basically, Simone will do vault, beam, bars, floor in day 1. Probably vault, bar. Well, I'm thinking she'll do day 2. She'll do vault, beam, floor, and then all around she'll do vault, beam, bars, and floor again. So they just keep doing the same routine. It's a new day.
It's a new competition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So all-around finals are going to be like when they competed at nationals to get the national champion. They all did, the 4 events, and then whoever has the highest score at the end of that day of competition wins.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Like I said, I'm new to all this, and I'm still learning, but I'm glad you ladies are teaching me this because, like I said, this is what this site and this television show is all about, learning about sports, and I feel like I'm smart now. Now that we basically have what we feel about the ladies, let's move on to the men. And like I said, we did have a wonderful gymnast that did get injured and had to pull out at a competition for the U.S. team. Now, has anyone replaced him yet? Have they announced the alternate that's replacing him?
Yes. Danel Leyva, it's going to be his second trip to the Olympics. He is replacing John Orozco. They're already in Rio. The injury happened a couple weeks ago. John has already had surgery. He's been back in the gym swinging on bars after reconstructive ACL surgery. It's ridiculous.
Are you serious? That's crazy.
But I love it. It makes me feel good inside because I'm yes, that means he's going to keep going.
Absolutely. I'm just shocked that he did it so quickly. I thought he was going to take at least a month to get back to the gym, but within a couple of weeks, that's impressive.
Yeah, he was on the stationary bike today, 3 days after surgery.
Yeah.
3 days?
Mhm.
Well,
Wow.
that's just to get the range of motion back and everything. So I don't know if it was physical therapy or just let me get on a stationary bike, but
know,
he's been through this before. This is his second ACL injury and surgery. So he knows the routine, he knows what he can and can't do, and he knows his body. So, but yeah, he is out. Danelle Leyva is taking his place. And I'm really excited. I was really sad when Danelle didn't make the team. He has worked so hard since London, and he did really well in London. He took a little time off and sort of futzed around a little bit and didn't really know what he wanted to do with life, or would play around in the gym, and about 2 years ago finally started buckling down again and was like, my career isn't over. I want to keep doing this. And he did really well at Worlds last year. He won, I know he won a medal on parallel bars. I couldn't remember. He won a bronze, I think, on parallel bars, and I want to say he won a high bar medal too.
I believe so. Yes. But
I think he won bronze on both of those. So it was sort of controversial that he didn't make the team to begin with. He did have a very stupid injury going into nationals. His dogs got in a fight. He broke the fight up and got bit.
Oh my god!
And
oh my god!
Competed.
It's not the first time his dogs have gotten in a fight too, and he's tried.
Yeah, it's not the first time, or the first time that he's been bit by the dogs. So.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
The injury infuriates me because he should know better.
He should. Although I sort of, I don't know if you can see those scars on my arm. My dogs got in a fight 11 years ago, and I broke it up, and I got bit. So I was like, I sort of understand. And it was just sort
any
of like,
dog owner understands. I have dogs too.
Yeah. So, however, it being that close to trials and nationals, so
just be like, dogs, move out of the way, and just don't break it up.
Yeah. Well, see, he kind of crashed and burned at nationals, and was like, he almost didn't even make it to trials. He did that poorly at nationals.
Oh wow.
So he really had to work back, but he had 2 great nights at trials, and he was like 4th or 5th on pommel horse, which is it's where the U.S. men struggle the most. They really ride the struggle bus for pommel horse. There was USA Gymnastics posted on their Facebook page today that the men had a really great training on pommel horse today, and they hit 4 for 4. And it was like, guys, can we not?
Really?
Can we please just bottle this and save it for qualifications and team finals? Because they suck on pommel horse. There's no way around it. People have been saying for years, probably the past 2 Olympic cycles have been saying they need to get a legitimate pommel horse coach to the National Training Center for the men to work with them and have an intensive session just on pommel horse, because they're that bad. They will be top 3 on every other event, and they will be in last place on pommel horse, and that's what's going to keep them off the medal stand is pommel horse, because they don't have 3 men who can go up and hit a routine.
Which I don't understand, because I don't get why they can't just bring in Sasha Artemev's coach, because he could obviously teach pommel.
You mean his dad?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I mean, they're so friendly. The men are so friendly, and all their coaches. I kind of want to do hey, Great Britain, switch with us. We'll come teach you how to vault if you teach us how to do pommel horse. Because
Oh, why can't they do that? That would make so much more sense if they just help each other. I mean, there's a good chance everyone's gonna do well, so why not just help each other? I don't understand.
and maybe it's men's egos. Maybe it's egos in general. It's sort of probably the same reason that Breastgens, which is Allie Raisin's gym, doesn't get a good bar coach.
Fair enough,
Ego.
fair enough. People do have egos, so yeah, and that's probably the reason, but it would make so much more sense if they could help each other. I mean, they're going to be competing against each other, but why not build each other up and help each other? I don't understand, but that's just me.
I think it also,
I don't know.
a little bit, I think, does also the way men's gymnastics has developed in this country is that we kind of not promote, but there's actually a great article, and I forgot who wrote it, about how men's gymnastics has changed since the 80s, and that the men's team is so much bulkier in the 80s, and that affects being able to do pommels. And so if you look at the guys who can do pommels, they're lean, they're not as muscular, and they don't do well on like rings and parallel bars because they don't have the muscles. So I don't know. I didn't
even think of that.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I'm curious about that.
Well, like Sasha Artemev, who competed in the 2000 Olympics, was super like one of the best pommel workers we probably had, and
he was one of the best in the world.
Yeah, 20 years at least from the U.S.
On some days.
That's true. He was kind of a bit of inconsistency in this.
Yeah.
But
he wasn't really good at anything else.
Yeah.
He made the 2008 team because he gave them a score for pommel horse.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
that's
kind of, I think a lot of people were hoping Akash Modi would make it because he has that kind of pommel horse look, I guess. It's kind of like a bar look in the women's.
Yeah, like sort of like a Nastia look. If you look at the way Nastia Lukin looks, she's very long and lean, or Madison Koshin. And they just don't look like they're built for power, which they aren't. So, yeah.
It's just been an interesting development in this country, and I don't know why the U.S. men's team as a whole is not promoting that, looking for guys who do well in pommels in college and trying to promote them in college and say, hey, work on this a bit more, and then come out and try for the national team because we need you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they just want to focus on the other events, but it's a good question. I'm curious why they don't do that. There's plenty of colleges where they can go to and do just that.
Well,
it's a good question, but
yes and no. I think one of the issues with men's gymnastics these days is because of lack of funding, a lot of college programs are being shut down.
Sure.
So
exactly.
I mean, so yes, there are places that you can go, but there isn't like a real training center. There's not a national team center for men to develop like there is with the women. The women, they have the HOPES program, the developmental program. So Marta and Valerie Lukin and Steve Rybacki, who sort of head up these developmental camps, they see these kids from the time they're 7 years old, and they're like, you're going to come here and we're going to mold you. You're going to come here, once a month or a couple weeks every quarter or something, and you're going to do this camp so that we can show you what you need to work on. And there isn't anything like that for the men. But I think it's because...
Shame.
Well, I think it's because with men's gymnastics, they don't hit their stride or their peak until college or beyond, because that's when, their muscles really come in. And the way that men's gymnastics is, it's a lot different than women's, except for vault and floor. It takes very different skills, very different muscles, and I mean, when men, are in college, they need to think about, what am I going to do with my life after gymnastics? Like, how am I going to make a living? How am I going to support a family? Whereas girls, they can be done and have won gold medals when they're 18, 19, 20, and then still go to college and live a normal life after that, you know? So I think that's one of the big issues is it's not like the state-run sports where in like China and Japan and Russia where they get paid to do their sport and they get like genuine celebrity status afterward. They get treated, especially like in Japan and China, they're treated like United States football players over there. That's like how big of stars they are. And you come here and it's like, oh, Jonathan Horton was on American Ninja Warrior. And people are like, who? And he's a two-time Olympian.
Which they didn't even
Yeah,
show.
there's not a lot of attention to it.
Was so mad they didn't even show his run.
Yeah.
They showed
So
his kids, though, which makes no sense, but whatever.
So
I can't even pretend to understand that, but I would love to see more attention to men's gymnastics because it's very powerful to watch. I mean, I love watching the women's gymnastics. I used to do gymnastics as well, and it's very beautiful to watch, but seeing the men do it is a whole other animal. I mean, I love watching it because it's, first of all, good-looking men, but secondly, it's just they're so powerful, and seeing them on bars and doing those flips, it's like, wow, you would never think a guy that looks like that can do all that. And so
Yeah.
it's like really amazing to watch. And I'm so excited for this team and so excited to see how these guys do this time around.
yeah, I think the United States, if they can stay on pommels, Sam McCulloch, Alex Nador, and Danelle will compete on pommel horse in team finals. And if they do what they are capable of, which is Danelle can score between a 14.6 up to about a 14.9, and Nador and Sam McCulloch can score up over 15. And if they can do that in team finals and still hit the rest of their events, I think they will be able to contend for a bronze medal. If they don't, if they can't get their heads in the game, they will not be on the medal stand. They might not make, if they don't do well in qualifications, if they melt down in qualifications, they might not make team finals. That's how close it is with the top 8 men. Like, the men's teams they're just that good. And I feel like for the USA, it's not going to be, can we get a medal if we don't hit pommel horse? It's, can we make team finals if we don't hit pommel horse? Which is scary to think that in 30 years, since 1984 when they won the gold medal as a team, it's really scary to think that in 30 years it's gone downhill that much.
Yeah, it's really sad because I remember watching it back in the day and it was amazing what they can do. And now I think you're right. I think it's the build of the guys that makes it so much difficult and that much more difficult to do those moves on a pommel horse. But it's really sad how downhill it's gone, and I hope that someday they do go for a different coaching or a different approach of doing it. But one thing I do want to point out is if it is because of the body mass or the body things, I do not want them ever telling anyone to change the way their body is because, well, body image issues, first of all. And secondly, they can't really control the way their body is. And I think it's a very dangerous thing for them to do if they tell them, oh, you got to lose weight, you got to do this, you got to do that.
I don't know that it's really they have to change their body. It's they have to change the way that they train. And I did want to touch.
Exactly.
I did want to say if they don't hit pommel horse, that's not a. I mean, it's a disaster. It's a minor disaster. It's not a huge disaster. But the men tend to sort of keep that snowball effect going, where they mess up on one event and they get in their heads and they're like, aha, and then from there it just snowballs. So I don't remember what their draw is, but I feel like they have pommel horse pretty early in qualifications. So I think that's going to be a good thing for them to just like get it out of their way so it's not weighing down on them. Um,
For some reason, I want to say they start on rings, but I don't know if that's correct or not.
we can double check for the next episode.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I definitely want to have a full schedule up before the Olympics begin.
Yeah, but I don't have it. I don't have the schedule like handy, like right at on my phone, like at my fingertips, or else I could look it up. But I don't. Yeah, I just don't know. I feel like I remember seeing them that they have pommel horse pretty early in their rotations, um, and I know I would rather have if I was coaching their team, I would rather have them, get pommel horse over because in 2012 in London, they were leading. They were in first place in the team final, not just in qualification, in the team final. And they ended on pommel horse. And they went from first place to fifth place.
Ouch. Ouch. That was horrible. I remember that too.
And it was just like, what in the world just happened?
Yeah. It was like a train wreck. You couldn't stop watching, but not a good thing.
Yeah. It was horrible. So, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the men just. I think the battle really is going to be for bronze. China and Japan will battle it out as usual. But I think there are several teams who legitimately have a shot if they keep their heads together for a bronze.
I think Great Britain men are going to be right up there in the battle for gold. They've been on such an upswing. I know there's been some controversy in their team, but I think they could be a dark horse to take it away. I think Japan will take it. I do, but I think Great Britain could be one of those dark horses, just like in the men's all-around. Kohei Uchimura is to men's gymnastics what Simone Biles is to women's gymnastics, except that there are some men who have come close to dethroning him, and I think Max Whitlock is one of them from the Great Britain team. And if he can get his stuff together, Sam McCulloch from USA has the potential to score up there like a Max and a Kohei, but Sam tends to implode when he gets on an international stage, and
that's putting it lightly.
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough call to see who makes it.
Yeah. And Sam's coming back from injuries, so he looked great at nationals and trials. He won both handily with mistakes, like with falls. But if he can hit 12 for 12, 6 for 6. I guess in all around it's 6 for 6. I was thinking qualifications. Yes. If he can hit 6 for 6 in all round, he should be on the medal podium. I mean,
absolutely.
It'll be between,
I have no doubt.
It'll be between him and Oleg from Ukraine, Max Whitlock of Great Britain. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else. Oh, Manrique Lardouet. Oh my gosh. I want him to win gold. Manrique
There's so many good ones, you can't even choose.
No, fair. Manrique from Cuba he's so good. And he has so much untapped potential. And he trains in Cuba, which have no money. They have no training facilities, and he's that good. I want him to come and train in the United States, but still, well, no, I want him to compete for the United States. because he could bring us to like where we need to be like as a team, but
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, I love stories like that, though. That people who come, I don't want to quite say from nothing, but they come from very little and they build themselves up and go for their dreams. It's stories like that that makes the Olympics so great, and I love hearing those stories. And I hope we really get in depth, maybe an in-depth package or a good interview about what his background is, because it is so interesting and it is so wonderful that he was able to build himself up like that. And now he's in the Olympics, coming from almost nothing and just training and going for it.
He did really well at Worlds last year too, and you know, you said coming from nothing. He did. He's from Cuba. What did they have there? They have
Fidel Castro?
Yeah, exactly. So, communism? What?
I said they have rum.
They do have rum.
Yes, all right. So they do have rum.
Yeah.
Maybe the rum helped him. I don't know.
So I just found the draw, and the United States starts on vault.
Okay.
So where do they go? I'm so bad at men's like rotation. So is it vault?
I believe it's vault parallel bars.
Is it?
So they'll finish on still rings.
That's good. They have a really good rings team. So, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So where did the ladies start?
So the ladies start on floor. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, they're so well conditioned and well trained. They can start anywhere and they will win by 5 points.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's just for qualifications. They will start on vault in team finals.
Yeah.
Because in team finals, the top 2 teams going into team finals will start on vault. 3 and 4 will start on bars. 5 and 6 will start on beam, and 7 and 8 will start on floor. And the Olympic order is vault, bars, beam, floor. So the women will start on vault and end on floor in team finals, and they will win, and it will be awesome.
Absolutely.
And I will cry.
I will cry too. We'll all be there crying. We've got to do a broadcast like right after and talk about it, because I think we'll all be crying together. So I better make sure it's waterproof makeup.
I don't know if that's a good idea, because I'm probably like, oh my god.
I know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great though. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes, their training leotard game has been on point.
Oh, so absolutely.
I'm so excited to see what their competition leotards look like, because I haven't been a huge fan of them in the past, but Under Armour, who is providing the leotards and the uniforms for them, have said there is no hot pink, there is no purple, it is only red, white, and blue. And I'm like, what?
Yay!
I was like, when I read that, I was like, dude, is Marta on crack? Like, what happened to Hot Pink Nation?
Marta was like, I'm going out in style. What? USA forever! Even though I'm Romanian. Actually, she's Hungarian.
Yeah.
If we want to go way back.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
so
right country.
Yeah.
She's been in lots
It's
of
gonna be
countries.
amazing. Oh. I can't believe 6 days. I can't believe it. We start in 6 days. It just seems like we were just waiting and waiting, and now it's here, and I can't believe it. I'm so excited.
I feel like London was just like last week.
I know.
I know, right?
4 years ago.
And good Lord. Good, that's all I can say.
I know.
Good Lord.
Good Lord.
And I look at
now
like,
you lady...
pictures from London, and Gabby and Allie look like babies.
I was just going to say the same thing.
They were 16 and 18, but, I mean, they just, everything was just like, oh my gosh, I'm at the Olympics, what is going on?
Yeah.
And you look at their pictures now, and Allie, like, and Allie's like, I need a nap. Can I just go nap now, please?
Allie, honey, you can nap after the Olympics is over.
Well, no, she posted on Instagram, they'd been in Rio for, like, legitimately 2 hours, and she was like, already took a nap. was like, how did you have time to take a nap? You just got to Rio.
That's crazy, but I can't fault her. I would love to take a nap too, but you know.
Yeah, that girl could win like an Olympic gold medal in napping as well as, gymnastics.
Now, are you ladies following any other sport or just gymnastics?
I'm sort of following like swimming and diving, and a little bit track and field. Like I'll watch them. I pretty much have like Olympics on loop for the entire 2 weeks of the Olympics. But I mean, my main obsession, because it's like a year-round thing, it's not just an Olympic cycle thing, is gymnastics. But yeah, I'll do swimming and diving, track and field. I think that's it.
I'm diving, yes, and then equestrian.
And I like soccer.
Yeah, and I'll follow
my
soccer
husband.
by like watching it on when it's on, but I'm not like invested in like I am equestrian and gymnastics.
Okay. I'm allergic to horses, so.
Oh, yeah, so am I actually.
Oh, I'm so sorry for you guys.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just because I'm allergic that I've just never been like a fan of horses.
Yeah, same here.
My
Same
parents took us like to the Poconos once for a vacation, and we went on this like trail ride, and I was already afraid of horses, and they gave me this like giant thing. Like I was tiny to begin with, but like this horse was so big, my legs didn't like fit over it, so I was like sitting in a straddle on top of this horse.
Oh my gosh!
And I was like, no, I need the smallest horse. They're like, oh, this one is just the nicest one. I was like, I don't care how nice this horse is. I want a pony. I want my feet to touch the ground.
I know, right? I'm the same
They
way.
sat me on this giant thing. I couldn't like reach around it to the stirrups. I couldn't climb on it myself with that like big 6-foot platform thing that you like climb up to get onto it. Like I needed help getting onto it on that. And then all it wanted to do was like eat grass and drink water. And every time like its head leaned down, my butt would like come up and I would like slip down off of the horse. And I'm like, this is the worst experience of my life.
Yeah.
Like, I was like 11
Oh my
or 12.
gosh.
And I was like, I hate horses.
I can't fault you there. I
So-
can't fault you there.
Horses not my thing.
No, I don't blame you. And Katrina, right now, do you have the sun in your eyes or something? You look like an angel right now with the sun beaming on you. You look like... Well, you are angelic to begin with, but now you really look like an angel.
No, it's my deck door. It's really sunny here because it's been like super hot. So the sun's like, the wind has started to pick up because it's North Dakota and it's windy like every day.
I was about to say, where are you? I mean,
Yeah.
it's 8 o'clock and like the sun is going down here.
Yeah,
Like, I'm slowly
yeah.
losing light.
Yeah, I live in North Dakota and it's windy every damn day and I hate it so much. I hate it.
Well, I live in Georgia and it's been 100 degrees for the past 2 months.
Oh, poor
With
thing.
like 100% humidity. It's like you walk outside and you just get wet.
Ooh,
It's not
yeah.
raining. It doesn't rain. It's just hot with humidity.
Ooh,
It's
Hot
hot
awful.
Atlanta for sure.
It's
Oh,
finally
yes.
cooled down here a little bit, which is nice. It's been really hot here and humid. We've had really bad thunderstorms the last 2 weeks. But yeah, Sammy, remind me, I need to show you this video. We had a thunderstorm on Monday, and literally like 4 blocks from my house, the street is completely flooded, and they had to like block it off, and it was
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
it was horrible. But it's because my deck door, like I have 3 actual doors on my deck. I have a storm door, a screen door, and then the inside door, and they're like really dirty.
Oh,
'Cause
jeez.
I haven't been able to clean.
Oh my goodness, because I was wondering, I'm like, wow, it's really sunny, and then like, it comes all around you, and you look also angelic and beautiful, and it just...
The doors are really dirty because it's water spots because of the rain. It's like I haven't been able to like clean them. It's really bad.
Oh boy. Well, we are about out of time. I want to thank you two ladies, and we'll be back to talk about the Olympics again, because that's what we do here. We're together, the 3 of us. Thank you again, and this has been another Football in High Heels broadcast, and join us again as we continue our journey through the Olympics. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.